Is AI coming for your job? Today we're diving into a hot topic that has really got a lot of people's soul on fire, especially over the last 6 months to a year, and that is AI coming for your programming job? Well, I've got some good news for you basement dwellers. Despite all the hype and fear mongering, there are several compelling reasons why AI is not coming to your highly skilled tech job. And it's probably not replacing especially enterprise programmers anytime soon. Let's break down the 7 reasons why I think AI will not be taking over these highly skilled roles. Hey VFC fam, it's your boy Joshua Tech Dev Walker, your venti fried chicken author and global cloud slinger. And if you're new to this channel, I mainly talk about cloud computing and just tech career in general, but from a lens as someone that was self-taught himself and have been in the tech industry for over 10 years now and have taught hundreds of students myself. And if you haven't picked up the book Venti Fried Chicken, it's a comedic autobiographic novel about how I went from zero trajectory in the hood to being in the military to being a homeless vet to being the beautiful cloud gang leader that you know and love now. Okay, maybe not everyone loves me, but I am. It is cloud gang. So number 1, the nuance of enterprise systems. These are not your run-of-the-mill applications. They are intricate, gnarly beasts that are sometimes being held together by charcoal and a prayer. To be less nuanced, we're talking legacy system integration, complex business logic, regulatory compliance requirements, custom workflows. Although AI has been incredibly impressive, especially over the last year or so, it does not do well with this type of nuance. It can't fully grasp the whole legacy architecture and why Bill has so much power even though he does nothing in his office. And that's not pointing at any particular Bill, just as an example. Point being, it doesn't do well with legacy context and definitely not politics. Being a good solutions architect means you have the historical context, business specific requirements, and know the delicate balance of having what the stakeholders need and what the users need. A human's deep understanding of these things is, in my opinion, irreplaceable. Number 2 is the high cost of large language models. When we get down to the nitty gritty, the reason these LLMs are so amazing is because they put millions and millions and millions of dollars into those LLMs. And so from a business standpoint, for us to leverage this amazing technology is pretty pricey. And this can be expensive for, long-standing enterprise companies, let alone small to medium-sized businesses. We recognize that it's getting cheaper through the economies of scale, but back to the original point is, if you were to replace a full-time engineer, the amount of leverage you'd have to use using that LLM would maybe bankrupt some companies. So it's cheaper to keep them. And maybe this becomes more a threat in the future with quantum computing, but point being, the headlines will make it seem like everyone can afford to just replace you with these giant machines, which will take a lot of customization to replace you as a living and breathing logical human being that has put years into your craft. Number 3 is the AI implementation challenge. Here's a nice sobering statistic from one of the best benchmarks in the business, Gartner. Mind you, this data is a little bit behind because of course it takes time to be able to put all these stats together, but in 2022 Gartner had this to say: only 15% of AI solutions that were deployed had positive ROI. And you ask yourself, with all this greatness, why is this happening? For one, extensive data preparation. A model a lot of times is only as good as its data. Integration with existing systems. And one of the biggest ones, ongoing maintenance and updates. These are some of the challenges that often make it so an AI project fails. So as an enterprise programmer, you helping navigate all of these pitfalls is invaluable. How is the machine going to replace you if you got to help the machine do its job? Number 4 kind of fits right in with this: data quality and availability issues. Let's face it, most of data just in general in the wild is a mess. It's scattered across different systems within the business, is inconsistent, and sometimes it's just plain inaccurate. AI models, once again, are only as good as the data it's using. The data just doesn't pop out AI ready. And as enterprise programmers, you're usually one cleaning up the data, so once again, how are you going to put the cart before the egg, or whatever that saying is? Maybe we'll get to a point where AI is fixing itself. I don't know, but we're not there yet. And when that starts happening, I'm going to make sure John Connor is back here to help us out. Old Terminator joke. Number 5, the need for human oversight. As you've known by now, AI isn't perfect. It makes mistakes, it produces biases, hell, it even hallucinates just like me. In enterprise environments where stakes are high, errors can be super costly, so you need that human intervention. As AI programmers or just programmers in general, you play a really crucial role in a few areas. Validating AI outputs, debugging AI generated code, which is such a big one, because if you're using code at face value from any of the AI sources, you're probably, one, it's not going to work, and you're sadly mistaken, or it might be a little janky. And one of the most understood or overstood ones, or one of the ones that's overlooked a lot, is making sure that AI really aligns with the business objectives overall. You need a human in the loop. Number 6, the complexity of AI integration, especially at the enterprise level. Integrating AI in the enterprise system is no cakewalk. Matter of fact, it's probably more like walking on a field of Legos, because it requires a deep understanding of a few areas. The current IT infrastructure, the business processes, the data flows, last but not least, the security protocols. As a senior programmer or programmer, these are things that you would possess that, AI would not be able to help with. Or if it helps with it, it's because you pointed it towards it. This role is not easily automated or replaced. And to number 7, the overall evolving nature of programming. I've been in this game for a while now, and one of the reasons I love it is because it's expanding to the left and to the right and up and down. It's just an infinite amount of change. As AI takes over some of the more routine things, the role of the programmer is shifting to a higher level. And I know hearing that makes some people like, wait a minute, I thought you said, if it gives you solace, I'm someone that used to be in a role as a SRE, and one of the methodologies from Google was basically coding your job away. And what I've seen time and time again, if you're intellectual or you're someone that's always looking to provide value through a technical programmer lens, you'll always find some higher way to bring value from a technical standpoint. And I don't know about you, I know when you're in the beginning, you're happy to just get your hand on these routine things, but there's only so many times you want to, use a certain part of a style sheet, or you want to code this small utility. If you've done that thing before, you don't want to do it again, manually ever again, probably. So this is a good use case for AI. But you're not just writing code, right? You're architecting solutions, you're optimizing systems, and you're driving innovation. This is where being human shines and AI falls short. In conclusion, even though AI is undoubtedly transforming everything we do in day-to-day life, especially if you're in the tech field, the nuanced understanding of complex systems, the high cost of AI implementation, the challenges of getting AI to production, and more importantly, the critical needs for having human oversight in these early stages, ensures skilled enterprise programmers are still going to be their weight in gold. So keep honing your skills, stay adaptable, and embrace AI as something in your overall toolkit. I use it every day, probably on the hour, and I can't even imagine life without it anymore. The future of enterprise programming is bright, and you're part of it. I would love to hear your feedback and thoughts on enterprise programming in the comments and how you think AI is affecting things. Drop a comment below and let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, as I'll be looking to post again every week. Train, inspire, relate,